The Jazz Age was a term coined by F. Scott Fitzgerald and was a feature of the 1920s ending with the Great Depression when jazz music and dance became popular. This occurred particularly in the United States, but also in Britain, France, and many other places around the world, not just America. Jazz played a significant part in wider cultural exchanges during this period, and its influence on pop culture continued long afterwards, even today. Jazz music originated mainly in New Orleans and is and was the fusion of African and European music. The Jazz Age is often referred to in conjunction with the phenomenon referred as to the Roaring Twenties. The birth of jazz music is generally credited to African Americans, but expanded and over time was modified to become socially acceptable for middle-class white Americans. White performers were used as a vehicle for the popularization of jazz music in America. Even though the jazz movement was taken over by the middle-class white population, it facilitated the mesh of African American traditions and ideas with the white middle-class society. Cities like New York and Chicago were cultural changes for jazz and especially for African American artists. The spread of jazz was encouraged by the introduction of large-scale radio broadcast in 1932. The radio was described as the sound factory, and the radio made it possible for Americans to experience different styles of music without physically visiting a jazz club. The radio provided Americans with a trendy new avenue for exploring the world through broadcast and concerts from the comfort of their own living room. These were broadcasted from cities such as New York, Chicago, Kansas City, and Los Angeles. There were two categories of live music on the radio: concert music and big band dance music. The concert music was known as pot or palm, and the concert music by amateurs was usually volunteers. This type of radio was a way of making the world go round back then. With the women's suffrage at its peak and the ratification of the 19th Amendment on August 18, 1920, and the entrance of the flapper, women began to make statement within society, and the Jazz Age was not immune to these new ideals. With women now taking part in the workforce after the end of the First World War, there were many more possibilities for women in terms of social life and entertainment. Ideas like equality and free sexuality were very popular during the time, and women seemed to capitalize during this period. The 1920s saw the emergence of many famous women, including Bessie Smith.